Hello, Intactivists! In the news this week, we have Intact America, GALDEF, restored members, Bruchim, Forefront, and much more coming up. In POTS news, the POTS ad campaign was launched August 8th. We reached about 250,000 people thus far. CLR, Hoodie by Nature, Breaking the Cut, and of course, POTS is spearheading this campaign. Circumcision law reform and Hoodie by Nature are making the advertisements that explain circumcision is bad. CLR has made about 90% of the advertisements thus far. He's been a huge ally and contributor to this, so definitely make sure to thank him if you ever do talk to him. And of course, you guys have been helping us out as well. All the social media defenders we have and the POTS community who donate and use the POTS e-commerce program, CareBuzz, and so on. So let's keep the press going on until at least the end of the year. We got about $6,000 back in this campaign up, and the more help we get, the better. If you want to help POTS out a lot, follow us on Facebook and X. Link is in the description of my link tree. We reached about, as I said, 250,000 people so far with cyber protesting, so it is working out really well. Speaking of the ad campaign, the video special was comparing little images to POTS when it comes to outreach. Turns out that the POTS is over 100 times better in the effectiveness of this particular area. Hence the name. POTS is 100x more effective than little images / huge announcement. So go ahead and watch it for why POTS is 100 times more effective than little images. It will explain why with math. And also, the huge announcement part is actually up on my coffee, so let's go ahead and read it. All right, reading this, you have people reached. So it says, have a bigger influence in the POTS cyber campaign. If you want to push one of our ads out to more people, please go to our X or Facebook and pick an ad we have out. And with your tip / donation, say, I want this post to be advertised more on this social media platform, X or Facebook. We will then use your money you tipped us to advertise it so it reaches more people on your chosen platform. The chart above is a guideline of how many people you can expect to reach with the money given. So if you go up here, it's $5 reaches about 300 to 600, $10 reaches about 4,000 to 18,000, $25 reaches about 34,000 to 58,000. Now, if you want these numbers explained up here, just go ahead and watch the video that I talked about. And also, if you want to know why there's such big discrepancies between the people reached when it's 5, 10, and 25, again, it's in the video. I've already explained this, and that will be explained to you watching that video. All right, so this past Saturday, Melina had her part 2 interview released on POTS. We continued the review of POTS and how to become better, and also Melina's issue with aggressive intactivism tactics. Part 3 will be coming up this Saturday for fan questions. Don't forget, we are running another POTS matching for this month. Now, this is a little more nerfed than the original 6x that was last month. Any link we affiliate with Amazon is getting 2x matched. However, eBay is getting matched 7x by supporters trying to drive sales there. The CareBuzz is still being 6x matched, however, and Intactivism seems to love supporting POTS through CareBuzz. That's probably because it's international. Anyone can go do it around the world, and it's install and forget, so it's not super complicated. And also, the POTS e-commerce program and the CareBuzz, it's all free to do. Also, I did get word from another big donor of POTS is stepping down, so you won't be seeing 6x or 7x matching most likely be a while, unless one of you in the audience wants to sponsor a POTS program. So you guys have less than 2 weeks to take advantage of this matching before it's gone for who knows how long. And this really does help keep the channel going. All right, and in Intact America news. So, Intact America, New Voices, New Rooms 2025 in Atlanta, Georgia. The NVNR Annual Conference champions independent publishing and fearless voices beyond the mainstream. Georgiane Chapin and Echo Montgomery Garrett, authors of This Penis Business, and Judy Kirkwood, co-author with Marilyn Milos of Please Don't Cut the Baby, brought intactivist storytelling into the mix, getting these powerful memoirs into the hands of booksellers, authors, publishers, and curious readers alike. So essentially, they are still doing their book tour of their books. And this is the picture that they have here. Speaking of Intact America's books, big news. The books that we already talked about have both been honored at the 37th Annual IBPA Book Awards, one of the most prestigious recognitions in indie publishing. Now, what does honored look like and what does it mean? I'm not really sure. I guess it means they make a comment on it because the outstanding recognition at the 37th Annual IBPA Book Awards, they did make a comment on both books, which is pretty awesome. I'm 80% sure they made a comment on these books. Yep, it does say praise for This Penis Business from the IBPA Book Awards, ranked among the judges' top 10 memoirs. This is This Penis Business, and the Please Don't Cut the Baby from across the IBPA Book Awards, ranked in the top 10 across several categories. So that's super awesome for Intact America. It says over 170 librarians, booksellers, and design and editorial experts judged the books submitted for consideration. The judging process takes close to 6 months and included close to 1,800 entries this round. Super awesome for Intact America that their books got recognized and honored. Also, speaking of Intact America, their Crystal Alyssa has been featured in Pathways to Family Wellness magazine. You can go ahead and read that here in Pathways to Family Wellness. Now, you can't read the whole thing because you need to log in or subscribe to continue reading. I'm sure you could just go to the Intact America website and read the whole thing if you want. Essentially, it's circumcision is bad. That's the general point of the story. So yes, but that's super awesome that Intact America got into Pathways to Family Wellness. All right, and in Bruchim news, Bruchim sent out a newsletter recently. They have community check-in September 2nd. Looking for connection, encouragement, or answers to your questions? Join us for an open conversation and Q&A after our Bruchim leadership meeting. It's going to be Tuesday, September 2nd, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. To attend, email us at info@bruchim.online, put RSVP in the subject line, and we'll send you a link. So if you want to go ahead and join, it seems free to go ahead and do, so go for it. Now, they have a new partnership with Recustom, formerly Haggadot.com, a platform for personalizing Jewish rituals. Soon, Bruchim resources will be available to download and personalize. We'd love for this partnership to be a community effort. If you're an officiant, parent, or family member who has written an original birth ceremony, prayer, or poem to welcome a baby, please send it to info@bruchim.com. Selected pieces will be shared with full attribution or anonymously if you prefer. Okay, so they're welcoming Annie Pruski as Bruchim's intern. So super cool that Annie's helping them. Okay, synagogue outreach success. This summer we're connecting with synagogues, especially in Northern California, encouraging them to adopt language that openly acknowledges the choice not to circumcise. We're delighted to share that Congregation Beth El, Berkeley, and Temple Sinai, Oakland have updated their life cycle pages to reflect this inclusivity. Other organizations are preparing to update their websites too. So that's awesome that Bruchim is changing the narrative around circumcision and the Jewish faith. Okay, and Collaboratory 2025. Eliyahu and Rebecca Wald recently attended Collaboratory 2025, a 3-day Baltimore gathering hosted by Upstart that brought together Jewish educators, community organizers, and philanthropists. The focus was on initiative approaches to community building. It was a wonderful chance for us to learn, share Bruchim's mission, and forge new allyships. Now, what are these allyships? I'm not sure. They seem to be A-okay giving who they're working with, so I don't know why they decided not to say who their allies are here. Anyways, Bruchim needs volunteers. We need passionate volunteers to support a variety of projects. If you want to go ahead and lend your time and talents, just email info@bruchim.online to learn more and join our crew. Help drive the change. Oh, I get it, because the car is Bruchim in California, so literally Bruchim is help drive the change. That's cool that they have their car titled Bruchim. And in Restored Members news. So Restored Members has a brand new interview out, just released pretty recently, past week. It's healing from circumcision with foreskin restoration. He had a psychologist, Dr. Megan, go and do an interview, which is pretty cool. Don't forget to like and also leave a comment on his stuff when you go ahead and watch it. It definitely helps him and his algorithm. And oh, thank you guys for doing the same for me. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys. I know I can count on you guys to help me with the algorithm. It really does mean a lot. All right, and in Forefront news, so Forefront also released another video this week. It's a podcast, episode 5. It's definitely untamed and wild. You can definitely go ahead and watch that if you want and know what I mean. But I will give this a like. But definitely go ahead and watch it. It's very interesting for sure. It might be off-putting for some, actually, depending on who you are. It's definitely strong language. Yes, indeed, strong language is here. All right, and in GALDEF news. So, GALDEF has posted a lot recently. Successful How to Sue and Win campaign. They've updated this finally. Probably got my news announcement and they're like, oh, we should probably put something out or something. Anyways, they're talking about their success, that they raised the funds that they needed. They exceeded their $12,000 goal. We already know about this. Says the bulk of the funds will produce a 2-module video training series designed for attorneys and potential plaintiffs. It says the 1-hour attorney training module will be filmed in Los Angeles and featured interviews with attorneys Eric Klopper and David Llewellyn will be there. I don't know if they're going to have more or if it's just going to be those two. Also, it's interesting that this whole thing is going to be 1-hour attorney training module. Interesting. Hopefully it's a little bit longer than that for $8,000. Filming will begin in the last quarter of 2025, with the editing and final completion expected by the end of the year. So there you go, guys. That's your timeline. By December, they should be done with this. GALDEF is investigating the possibility of offering continuing legal education credits for attorneys who watch the training module. The training module for potential plaintiffs will feature advice from attorneys Klopper and Llewellyn about the best ways for circumcision sufferers to initiate and prepare for a lawsuit. Now, if they do get CLEs, that would be a big thing if they could get CLEs for sure. So hopefully they can go ahead and pull that off. If not, I don't think anyone's going to really be interested in watching this. But yeah, continuing education credits is annoying. And if they can go ahead and help the legal people keep their licensings, I'm sure this will definitely be used a lot more if they can go ahead and able to offer continuing legal education credits. All right, remaining funds from the campaign were designated for GALDEF's booths at several Pride festivals: Los Angeles, Portland, Oregon, and Palm Springs, California. November, as always, our one-day booth at LA Pride in June was a tremendous success that was met with overwhelming public support, especially from youth. The 2-day Portland event in July allowed us to speak with hundreds of festival attendees about children's genital autonomy, as well as the Hadashek vs. Oregon Equal Protection Legal Challenge. A full recap of the Portland event is here. All right, so this is it. Portland Pride, an extraordinary event. So contributors is Eric Klopper and Tim Hammond. GALDEF extends its appreciation to every donor who contributes to our very successful How to Sue and Win fundraising campaign. Okay, so we know we already got that done. According to Eric Klopper, Portland Pride 2025 was nothing short of extraordinary. Over the course of the weekend, we engaged with hundreds, if not thousands of people, and walked away with over 190 new email signups, nearly all of whom are local Oregonans, and I don't know. I have no idea how to say that. Eager to support our historic lawsuit and stand with us at the courthouse. So 190 new email signups. That's going to be very interesting to see how many people follow through with that. These are not just names on a list. These are energized, principled individuals who believe in what we're doing and are ready to take action. The warmth and affection and unwavering encouragement we received at our booth was a constant throughout the weekend. Person after person stopped to say thank you for being here. Many expressed how relieved they were to finally see this issue being represented, and how inspired they were to know someone is taking it all the way to court. The response was overwhelming, emotional, and deeply validating. The Portland event proved what we already knew. Minds are changing, attitudes are evolving, and momentum is building. We're not alone, far from it. The public is waking up, and they are ready to rally for the rights of all children. Intact Global remains open to having intersex persons and regret parents join the Oregon case as plaintiffs. More information here. GALDEF and Intact Global continue to collaborate closely to expand public awareness of the human right to bodily integrity and children's genital autonomy, as well as to create opportunities for impact litigation to expand legal protections for all children regardless of sex or gender. Interesting how they said human right to bodily integrity and then children's genital autonomy. I think that's basing children's right to choose what to do with their genital autonomy. I'm sure some intactivists disagree with that. So these are pictures. You actually have John Atkinson here. You got Eric Klopper. You got a volunteer, Justin, right there, it looks like. You got She Johnson right here. Allie is right here. Now, it's interesting that this is Portland Genital Autonomy Collective founder Allie. Now, was this the thing she was fundraising for? Because right here, the End Circumcision Support Genital Autonomy for All at Pride. I think this is what she was fundraising for about Oregon this summer. It says grassroots outreach at Pride events across Oregon this summer. So maybe she just tagged along with GALDEF. I'm not really sure. It would make sense because they did stop donating like 26 days ago. So maybe there's something to it. But hey, I might be wrong. Let me know if you guys know something down in the comments. Also in GALDEF news, they released the Uncut Voices exploring sexual, psychological, and lived experiences of circumcision harm. Now this is actually uploaded from June 2025 at the 27th Congress of the World's Association for Sexual Health in Australia. GALDEF's board member Leif Thompson helped to plan the presentation and participated in it, while the organization provided significant financial assistance for the filming of the presentation. I believe that organization was the Darwin Institute. So the Darwin Institute was the one that held the symposium. Says, was a symposium presented by the Darwin Institute. Anyways, I find it interesting that GALDEF had such a tremendous outreach and stuff like that, but they got 105 subscribers on their YouTube, even though they got 190 signups from their parade. But I'll definitely see what happens here with GALDEF, YouTube, and stuff like that, see if it grows. All right, and on to the Intactivist calendar for the week. So we have Your Whole Baby, August 3rd, Atlanta. They just did that very recently. They have nothing out about it yet, though. So hopefully they go ahead and put something out soon about their Babies and Bumps Atlanta. But Cleveland is in September 28th. That's about a month and a half away. So if you're in Cleveland and you want to go to Babies and Bumps and see Your Whole Baby there, you can definitely go ahead and do that. Okay, No Circ, Michigan. The Michigan March for Integrity is Saturday, September 13th, which again is about a month away, at 11:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at Memorial Park, Royal Oak, Michigan. Foreskin Diaries is still going on. They're actually almost done. I think this is their last week. Yes, this is their last week. It ends Sunday, 24th in August. So stay tuned for an interview with Ron Lau. We should be doing an interview with him. At least there's rumors of it happening, so we shall see. And hey, join our Discord so you can go ahead and ask Ron Lau questions for that interview if you want to. Okay, Bloodstained Men, the Colorado Circumcision Crisis Protest. That is September 21st is when it starts and ends in September 28th. If you're in Colorado and you want to go ahead and show up, definitely go ahead and check this out. Get the dates and locations and the time, and you can join them because Bloodstained Men definitely likes people helping them. All right, and on to the polls of the week. So this poll here was inspired by Forefront, and also my last poll was interestingly answered. But this poll is, do you want to see intactivism to start using violent tactics like harming others or destroying property? Everybody said no for the most part. Nobody answered A, and one person answered C. But everybody, for the most part, picked no, which is interesting because whenever I asked, do you want intactivist tactics to be more radical, everybody answered yes. Well, for the most part, they answered yes. A few people said they want the tactics to be less radical, but the majority of people said yes, they want them to be more radical. So what is more radical than going out in an all-white suit with bloodstains on your crotch and holding signs and disrupting like the public and creating a scene? Like what kind of tactics do you want to amp this up to, I guess, is what I'm confused on. Because if you don't want to start destroying property or harming others, like, where's the gap here? So, I don't know, but nobody wants to harm others or destroy property in their intactivism tactics, or even seeing other intactivists start using violent tactics. So, it's very interesting. I guess I'm just confused why these two polls say different things. If you guys could let me know what a step is in towards a more radical way, let me know down below in the comments. I would definitely appreciate that because I'm super confused. Once again, guys, if you don't like how this turned out, please go to my Discord and go vote, because your vote matters. And on to the fundraisers of the week. Okay, so Intaction, they have raised $50 this past week. They are at $7,380 of their $100,000 goal. So they're at 7% of their goal so far. So 93% left to go. They are quite a ways away to get that $100,000 goal. Okay, and circumcision, support genital autonomy for all at Pride. We covered this a little bit, but they're at almost $1,200 out of their $1,500 goal. They're at almost 80% with 10 donations given. And this is Your Whole Baby's LA Prego Expo booth. They have $400 raised out of their $4,500 goal, which is almost 10%. They haven't gotten donations for this for almost a month now. All right, GALDEF, nothing new to see here for their circumcision is not healthcare, it's a custom. They're still at $28,549 out of their $35,000 phase 2 goal. All right, support Intact Global's fight against genital mutilation. They have raised an extra $100 this past week. They're at $42,555 raised. That is 85% of their $50,000 goal. Now, keep in mind, guys, I'm pretty sure they already raised their $50,000 goal. They're actually, I believe, moving to go ahead and finding plaintiffs in Colorado to keep pressing the constitutional challenge that they're trying to do. So I think they already raised $50K. So I expect a new fundraiser to be coming soon if they do find a plaintiff in Colorado. Okay, so Intact Global, they're at $390 out of their $30,000 goal. You can just tack that on to this right here. So they're almost at $43,000. All right, and on to the Intactivist growth for the week. So guys, enjoy this for 3 more weeks, the Bloodstained Men representing this, because we will be changing this to the POTS X for Intactivism growth in 3 weeks. Anyways, last week, the Bloodstained Men was at 7,262 followers. This week, the Bloodstained Men's at 7,273 followers, which is a grand total of 11 people gained, or a 0.15% increase for the week. Bloodstained Men making decent gains this week for Intactivism. All right, guys, that's all what I have for the news. Please don't forget about watching POTS is 100 times better than Little Images / huge announcement, and also Melina's Part 2 interview. Please like and share this to get this out to more people. And thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.
Prevail over the system. We rise through precision. Uplift transition. Reboot the mission. No fear, no fiction. Truth in transmission.